Up guys, Mike here, head trader at True Trading Group. July 9th, one of the best setups that I've ever seen. Okay, I'm going to go over with you two trades that I made today in STAF. One a day trade, the second a swing trade. Locked a 38% gain on the day trade. Just sold some of my position after market on the swing trade that I re-entered later in the afternoon for a 15% gain, and I'm still holding on to some, looking for a move up towards 650 tomorrow. But the focus on this video, guys, like I said, is going to be the first setup of the day in STAF, and it was incredible. Before I get into the setup, I want to talk to you a little bit about patience, okay? Because this morning, pre-market, I did not like, not that I didn't love anything. My watch list was very small. A lot of the leading gappers were gapping on low volume. There wasn't too much action pre-market. I had a very small watch list. I didn't love anything. There's nothing that says you have to trade, okay? Never mind at the opening bell. There's nothing that says you have to trade every day. Do not settle when it comes to trading. Do not trade for the sake of boredom. Okay, because I would much rather be bored to death than lose money. And you can't force trades just because you're bored. If you don't love anything, wait, be patient. Setups will come. Opportunity will present itself. Don't get sucked into B or C type setups. Wait for your setup. Wait for an A+ setup and attack it. Okay, a patient trader will always achieve more than a forceful trader, okay? And I told all of our members pre-market today, guys, I'm going to be very patient. I don't love anything. I'm going to let my scanners do some work, and I'm going to wait. I did not place my first trade until 10:08. That's 38 minutes after the opening bell, okay? I know some traders that are done trading by 10:30, 11 o'clock. I didn't make my first trade till 10:08, okay? And I'm glad that I waited because a lot of the stocks that I was watching had very choppy action off the morning open, okay? And it wasn't a smooth trade. So had I traded early in the day or early in the morning, I'm not sure. Maybe I would have been red. I'm not sure because it was kind of tough action on the stocks that I was watching. But the patience really paid off. And I want you to remember that. Remember that you don't force trades. Wait for your setups. There's no rule that says you have to trade all the time or every day or off the morning bell. Wait for your setups. Don't get sucked into B or C type setups. Don't settle, okay, when it comes to trading. Be picky. It's your money. Be picky. Now, let's get to the setup, guys. The setup in STAF in the morning. Well, first of all, STAF was just insane today, okay? Opened up around $1.85 and went up, and after market broke above $6. All day runner, 300% gainer on the day, huge volume, great range, was an awesome trade. And I want to go all the way back to the early morning setup and show you the pure beauty of this setup, okay? You can see STAF gaps up, initial morning high, okay? Puts in the initial morning high because then it pulled back in and tested that initial low, okay? So there's your initial morning high. We break through that initial morning high. Notice the volume on the break through the initial morning high. It's double the volume from the opening candle. That's significant, okay? The heavier the volume on the break through the initial morning high, the more significant the move, the greater chance you have of that initial morning high now acting as support. Speaking of support, look what we have here. There's your initial morning high. We break through it. We pull back in. Look what happens. We hold support at the initial morning high. Bounce, put in a lower high, pull back in. Look what happens. Hold support again at the initial morning high. What does this look like? My favorite pattern, the TTG triangle. Look at that. There is your TTG triangle pattern, okay? I got long, guys, right there at $2.43. That's really right down there. $2.43. I'll take it to my trade announcements. Here we are at 10:08. Long at tier 1 STAF at 243. Stop loss 220. Okay, back to the chart. The other thing I want you to notice now, because this was not just a TTG triangle, this was a TTG triangle mixed with a trade line VWAP crossover. If you guys follow my channel, you know that I just posted a video about this exact setup. I spoke about the trade line VWAP crossover. I've been saying I've been trading this for the last few weeks a lot. It's been working out big for me. I've been teaching all our members about the trade line VWAP crossover. If you did not see that video, go back just a couple days ago and check out the video about the trade line VWAP crossover, because it's a great setup and it's working big right now. So on this trade, we had a TTG triangle and a trade line VWAP crossover. That's why I'm saying this is one of the best setups that I have ever seen. Okay, so I got long here at $2.43. Let me get rid of that. And then look right here, guys. You have, there it is, the trade line VWAP crossover. The trade line is this yellow line right here. It's the 9 exponential moving average, and it crossed over VWAP. And as soon as it crossed over VWAP, okay, we got huge volume as the trade line and VWAP crossover happened, and as the stock broke out of a TTG triangle pattern. And as soon as that happened, you can see the trade line start to hold support. Okay, now I sold out of this way too soon, guys. I was flat by 335. I was flat right there. It's a 38% gain, okay, but the stock ended up running to like 550. All right, I'll take you back to my trade announcements. Here you guys can see I took some profit off at 275. I took the bulk of my position off at 286, and then my final take profit at 1018. So 10 minutes after my entry point, my final take profit at $3.35 for a 38% gain. It was a big trade. I was in full size. Okay, I was in full size. The tier 1 was at 243. Let me zoom this in so I can show you guys a little bit more clearly. Let me delete that. So my tier 1 was here, and my tier 2, I think it was actually in this candle, guys, was right in this candle at $2.60. Okay, so I had full size, wrote it out, and it's a thing of beauty. And you can see that trade line VWAP crossover, and as soon as you got that trade line VWAP crossover right here, there it is. Okay, there it is. There's your trade line. I'm sorry, guys. Let me delete all these. I've got too much going on here. So here is your trade line VWAP crossover. And as soon as that happened, you see the trade line held support and pushed this stock higher. Okay? It's really just been working out phenomenally. I mean, you could have stayed in this trade all the way up to that 450 area, no problem, before it violated that trade line. Okay? And it was a huge trade. So, again, you got a initial morning high. We break through the initial morning high on a real strong increase in volume. You have lower highs get put in as we bounce off the initial morning high. TTG triangle pattern, boom, breaks out of the TTG triangle, and you had the trade line VWAP crossover, and that sent STAF flying. And we were all over today and nailed a nice big 38% gain on STAF. Now, I'm still long STAF. Okay, I re-entered this trade right here at $5.02 before the close. Okay, about 10 minutes before the close, I entered at 502. Okay, right in front of that trade line once again, looking for some continuation. This stock looked like it was going to roll over and break down right here. Okay, but it did an about face, found support, and then rallied back into the close. I said if we rallied back into the close that I might get long, look for some continuation tomorrow. So once I saw this nice strong push into the close, volume started to pick back up again. I got long at 502. Take you back to my trade announcements. Here we are at 348. So 12 minutes before the close. Swing trade, long STAF at 502. Okay, and then you can see at 404. So 4 minutes after the close, after market, the stock started running. I was up 15% on the trade already, so I said, okay, well, that's great. let me take some profit. I'd be foolish not to take any profit because, this could easily gap down against me tomorrow. I think it's going to gap up towards 650, but it could gap down. So I was up 15%. So I said, let me lock in some profit, protect my downside. If it gaps to 650, I'm going to make a real nice chunk of change on it regardless. So let me protect myself to the downside. So I sold some at 580. That's a 15% gain already on the swing trade. And this is only meant to, and we're trading at 590 now after market with a high after market of 620. Okay. This is only meant to be an overnight hold, guys. This is not a long-term swing trade. I do not plan on holding this past tomorrow. I will probably sell this in the morning tomorrow. I think we gap up to the 650 area. And if we do, I will be flat tomorrow morning. I may even get flat pre-market depending on what's going on. If it shoots up to like $7 or something like that, pre-market, I'll be flat pre-market. I won't even wait for the bell. But we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It was a great day for me on this staff. Between the first trade and then now the swing was just a big day. I made a little bit of profit in MBVX today, and I took a loss on HELE. But this staff was just monster. Okay? So it doesn't get much better than that, guys. A TGG triangle and a trade line view up crossover was a thing of beauty. I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. Take care.